Good morning everybody, welcome to the start of another reading vlog featuring this book. Before I get started, if you're new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below as well as hit the notification bell. And if you're new, hi, hello, I'm Stephanie and I do a lot of bookish content. And today I am doing a reading vlog dedicated to this book, which is The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. I think that's how you pronounce it. He wrote The Midnight Library, which I adored. And I'm doing this quick intro right now because I'm actually heading to my friend's place and we are planning to read this book together. But I don't know if she really wants to be in the video, so I figured I'll just do the intro right now and then update you guys as I continue reading. And if she wants to join in, that's fine, but no obligation there. But yeah, all I know is that it says what looks like magic is simply a part of life we don't understand yet. And it follows a retired math teacher, Grace, who is left a rundown house on the Mediterranean island by a long lost friend. Curiosity gets the better of her. She arrives in Ibiza with a one-way ticket, no guidebook, and no plan. And then she searches for answers about her friend's life and how it ended. What she uncovers is stranger than she could have imagined. So I don't know, I really enjoy The Midnight Library. This came out in September, so I thought I'd do a little reading vlog to kind of talk about my thoughts about reading this book. So there will be spoilers, by the way. Like, this is not a spoiler-free reading vlog, so just be mindful of that. Continue watching at your own risk. Alright, so we just finished our first, wait, let me set you up better so it looks slightly better. Okay, so we just finished our first sprint. I am now on page 72. What page did you say you're on?
58.
58. And we have thoughts. So this book follows a woman, her name is Grace, where she ends up getting her house from a friend, Christina, that she hasn't seen for like decades, like 30-40 years minimum. And suddenly she's like left her with a house in Ibiza, so she goes to Ibiza to find out this house and find out more about this friend, because they literally had one interaction, and suddenly for some reason Christina felt like Grace saved her life because of that one act of kindness, and that is why she left this house to her. So now she's on Ibiza and she's trying to like discover more about Christina, what she's done in the past 30-40 years, and there are some interesting things so far. Apparently Christina's a psychic, that's what we found out, and I've definitely read more than my friends, so I don't want to say too much, but I have questions so far. Anything you want to say?
I think I kept on getting confused on who was actually there. Was it Grace or is it this Maurice person?
Okay, so my understanding is that this whole book is a letter to Maurice.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
So like in the beginning, Maurice is like talks about her, like her struggles, and Grace is like, oh, thank you so much, let me send you something, like I just started writing, like please see attachments.
Oh. Okay.
And there is parts in the book that is a little confusing because she does directly like talk to Maurice, like
yeah,
she addresses
I think it
her.
was more like, because sometimes I say, okay Rhea, let me do that, like, you know, I thought she was talking,
no.
was talking to himself.
No, she's like addressing Maurice in this long, like this whole book is like an attachment, a response to Maurice's initial letter.
Totally missed that part at the beginning.
So like that's, yeah. So yeah, I mean I have questions for sure. I'm really curious to know like what your thoughts are once you get to page 66. Like okay. That part I'm curious to know what you think, because okay. That I'm a little confused by why she feels this way. Okay. And I'm like, that's weird. So anyways, we're gonna continue reading, but initial thoughts. So we just finished our second little session, 45 minutes. I'm on page 188 and you are on page
146.
So I'm like 2/3 of the way done, just over half.
Whoa, okay, yeah. I
mean it's a really short book.
I reached about half.
Yeah, it's a really short book. It's just over 300 pages. I will say, first impressions, this is not the way how I kind of thought this book was going to be about.
Oh, same.
Like I mean I read Midnight Library as an audiobook.
Same. Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's written similarly.
Exactly. Like I don't know if it's written similarly.
Like, I have the physical book over there that we can compare later.
Oh, true. But like it just, the way how this book is written is just not what I imagined. But I also listened to it audioly, so I can't compare the two. But what did you think about that page 6 part where she's like, oh, this is the part where it's terrifying?
Oh yeah, when she saw the photo.
Yeah, the photo and the
with
necklace.
The necklace.
And I was like, what's so weird about that? Like,
I also was kind of like, what is she talking about?
Yeah,
what
okay.
was Stephanie talking about?
Right?
But was she, so after I thought about it and got into the story later, I wonder if she saw the necklace like not on her and it was just in the sea moss.
No, so
I had to kind of reread it, and then I started to like rethink, did I read like something incorrectly?
no, I'm pretty sure like,
Because he said, oh, you're here because of the picture of the sea moss, and she's like, oh.
no, okay, so I thought that on page 66 what happened was that she saw a picture of Albert,
Yeah.
or Alberto, and Christina on like in a boat at the seagrass area.
Yeah.
And there was a necklace that she was wearing. That's why she went to the police after, like right after, and was like, oh look, she's still wearing my necklace. She's been wearing my necklace for like 45 years. Or however long.
Was it just to be like, I know her?
I don't know.
I deserve
but,
answers?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what was the reasoning why she went there. Because she was like, oh, like evidence or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that's why I was a little confused. Like, did she just see it like somewhere randomly in?
But she did find it
seagrass?
randomly in the seagrass when she got there.
Yeah.
So like it was just there. But I don't know. The book is written very disjointly.
Yeah,
like
I'm
I
just
don't.
very confused.
I feel like I'm in a fever dream.
maybe it's like supposed to be written that way because she's 72 years old at the time that she's experiencing all this and writing a letter. So maybe it's kind of to reiterate you don't always get the details right.
Well, it almost feels like whatever this experience, like it made her like high. Like she's experienced like trippy moments.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like she's very.
Maybe that's what the presence does. It just kind of like.
Yeah, because like everything, she's like, I feel everything, I see everything. Like, I mean, the fact that she like feels how the lobster feels.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
I was just like, whoa, what's happening here? No, I don't know. Like, the part that really confused me about the page 66 was why she's like, oh, this is the part where she said, this is not where I find truly terrifying.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I was
get
like,
it.
I don't get it. Like, you found the necklace that you gave her. Like, okay, like what's so terrifying about her wearing this necklace that you gave her?
Yeah, maybe we'll get more answers later.
I don't know.
That's why I started to slow
confused.
down my reading. Okay, if I didn't get it, maybe I just need to.
Okay, but the fact that we
slower.
both didn't get it, I think like says a lot. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
this is very much a different vibe.
I'm going in blindly. I didn't even read the synopsis.
Oh, I read it very vaguely earlier, but like it's so vague. It's just like, oh, like she had a long lost friend who left her house in Ibiza, and she goes to like find out about her friend's life. Like it's such a vague, like, you know, synopsis that it's like it doesn't give you anything. So we just finished another sprint. I am on page 284. And
222.
She's on 222. Oh. And for me, I don't know, have you gotten to the part where like things shifted completely?
What do you mean?
Like, wait, 222? Let's see.
When she decides to stay.
Yeah, when she has to stay, and there's like, it's more like a mystery now.
And now they're like trying to stop Marge's protest.
Okay, so you haven't. Okay, so you're at the part where she's stopping Marta's protest.
Where she's tried to convince her. Yes.
Okay, so you haven't gotten to the other part yet. But all I can say from my part, things have shifted dramatically. Like, I thought this was gonna be like a little magical realism. This old lady finding like this magical power from this I don't know, being situation that's like extraterrestrial in a way. And then she's trying to deal with it in terms of like how it impact her with nature and her relationships, and if she wants to stay in Ibiza or move away. But things have shifted dramatically. Like, it has changed. Like, it has made a 180.
In a good way for you, or?
It has definitely made things more interesting because there's like a mystery thriller element to it now.
Because they're trying to find the killer?
Yes.
Would-be killer?
Yes. So now, like, Christina was like, oh, I would like for you to find my would-be killer. And now, like, it has something to do with the protest, but, like, things are different now. And I'm very curious. That's also why I started to read a lot slower, because I was like, wait, I need to know what's happening. But this is
I read
different vibe.
When she went through the portal to Salatio.
Yeah.
I think I reread that like 2 or 3 more times because it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. No, it was... This book is very magical realism.
Yeah.
Like, very out there. But I feel like the second part right now, or at least this last like third, is more like mystery thriller and with a dash of like superpowers.
You just kind of decided to change like
yes.
the genre a little
yes, bit. A little bit. Like, it feels very different now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm curious to see like what you think about it, but that's my thought. It's so interesting because I'm like ahead of you, that I'm like, I know this is coming and I'm curious.
I know.
Okay.
I think I'll finish it if we do another 45 potentially.
Okay. So we both just finished the book.
I have mixed feelings about it. Like, I get the overall theme of new beginnings for this book, considering she's 72 and she feels like she's able to start her life all over again in Ibiza. But I just kind of felt like I was reading different books throughout the book.
Yeah. But you know what I meant with like the shifted?
Yeah.
It like completely shifted tones, and like the vibe was like really different once it became like that.
It kind of became less about like the magic in that section, and like, they brought it back, but it still kind of was like, alright, the final third like didn't really.
Yeah. It just felt very disconnected. Like the writing, didn't you also mention like it felt like the writing also felt like
it's
like it kind of changed vibes. Like, it was lyrical.
Yeah, the voice, like, I felt like at first like you would get like the narrative of being told like the story in her letters, and suddenly she would switch and it would become like a bit flowery and lyrical. This is a really interesting book because I feel like when I listened to the Midnight Library, I didn't get all those changes. It felt very consistent to me. And this one just felt like maybe it's part of the magical realism aspect to it. Like, everything's just like changes and like flows and ebbs. So I don't know if like that's like his intention, but I do feel like because of that, the book just didn't really flow seamlessly. It just felt like disjointed. So I don't know, like I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I mean, it's a solid 3 for me.
I would say 3 stars. Like, it wasn't bad, but it just was not like the caliber of like Midnight Library, because I loved Midnight Library. It was so good. Like, I feel like he was trying to kind of evoke some of the same emotions at the end with like, you know, the past with Daniel and then like all those other things. It's like but it didn't hit home.
A lot of his books I feel like center on like embracing life and letting go of like guilt and regret. Midnight Library was kind of like that, where she like opened or would take a book and just see herself in a very different life, but then she was missing like parts of it that she knows. And for Grace, she just needed to let go of any guilt she felt regarding like her infidelity with her husband, and then the guilt that she felt about her son.
Which is interesting because I felt like even though she was guilty about the infidelity, it was so briefly like touched on that was like, was she even really guilty about that? Like, it seems like most of her guilt lies for her son.
I feel like they didn't really talk about it when she had her reunion with her husband.
No.
And I was like,
apparently he also cheated on her too. And I was like, okay, but you guys still loved each other. So I don't know how I feel about that dynamic. I don't know, but it was interesting to see it written from a perspective of like a 72-year-old.
yeah.
So I don't usually read books with that POV.
Yeah. Same.
So I feel like it felt off.
I feel like if I did the audiobook and it was read by an older woman, sadly I probably would have DNF'd.
You would have DNF'd it?
Probably, because sometimes an older narrator, I think I told you this, sometimes they remind me of my college professors depending on how they read the book.
Oh.
And so I kind of get taken out of the narrative, and I'm just kind of like jolted.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, I don't think this is a book for me. Then I pick it up physically, and sometimes I can get through it.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I read a book by like an elderly woman, I DNF'd.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it just does not, I can't relate.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like other books where it's like someone who's like closer to our age, even younger, I can relate with them because I've lived through those years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a 70, I haven't lived that time yet, so it's like, it's harder for me to like connect with them.
Yeah. And I feel like, I think it was Penny who was in Midnight Library. Was that the main character?
I don't remember.
She was probably in her 30s, so I
Yeah.
feel like, and I think she was also like dealing with mental health
Mhm.
as well. So I felt like, yes, very relatable in that sense.
Yeah.
But a lot of the feelings that she feels regarding regret and guilt and whatever else is something that I feel like you kind of have to experience to really get the full effect of what he's written.
Yeah, and I feel like, I'm not saying like we're not at an age where we don't experience regret and guilt, but I feel like to that degree is different. Like, do I regret making decisions sometimes? Yeah.
Because
but not to that extent.
Like, she even talks about, oh, I ended up becoming just like a mediocre teacher with my life. And not only was she talking about like her husband and her son, but just like about her life in general.
Yeah.
And I'm not at that point where I look back and I'm just like, I'm just an accountant.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that he decided to write in this perspective. So I don't know like what the reasoning was for him to write, because I feel like it would have been like if he had even just like made her younger by a little bit, like even like 10 like 20 years, I feel like that would have her 50s, I feel like that would have made a difference, because a lot of things that she's doing in the book, like scuba diving and like going to casinos and like taking down this guy, I'm like, can a 70-year-old person do that? Like, it just doesn't seem as realistic.
Yeah.
So, not that I'm saying they can't, but like in my head.
I also feel like this could have been written like anywhere, aside from them just mentioning like Ibiza and them speaking Spanish. I feel like, because there were times when I forgot that Alberto was Spanish, because some of the English dialogue that he included just felt like so out of a Spanish character to me.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been any nice area with like a nature, like ecological, like protected area.
Yeah,
that's true. I would agree with that. So anyways, 3 stars from the both of us, unfortunately. I mean, it was fine. I don't want to say it was good, but it was fine. So anyways, that's all I have to say for this reading vlog. It was kind of a short reading vlog. We really only read for like maybe 2.5 hours or so, and then we finished it. So very quick read. Unfortunately, like I said, we just didn't love it. We didn't hate it, but didn't love it. So anyways, that's to say for this video. As always, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. I really just help out my channel. And if you'd like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe below, as well as hit the notification bell. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.